Hey everybody, it's Eric here to talk about the season finale of season 3 of The Mandalorian. And I think this is the worst season finale out of the 3, by far. Very anticlimactic. Did I say that right? There was no climax. Everyone is wearing Beskar armor, and they're all shooting lasers at each other, and people are like dying. Clone troopers are dying somehow, even though they're wearing Beskar armor. Very strange. I mean, we watched our Mandos run from dinosaurs all season long, and we don't get to see the dinosaur we want to see. We get to see like his eye, the side of his face, the mythosaur. So very disappointing. No Grand Admiral Thrawn, nothing special. Nothing really happened. We're going to get into everything here, but yeah, this season just limped along, and it ended with a whimper. All right, season 3, the finale. We're going to go through this as fast as we can. Matthew Dortona, I didn't get your email, so I don't know where to send the Lizzo shirt. All right, so hit me up again. I didn't get an email. As many of you know, or some that don't know, this is all about crowd participation. So leave a comment. I respond to all my comments. That's why I make these videos, to talk to you guys about this stuff. All right, chapter 24 is the return. And that's it. It's not even the return of the Mandalorians. It's just the return. Okay, it was like 30 minutes. It was very short and crammed with action that I would say was very disposable. This felt like junk food. Like you just eat it and you forget about it. All right, and the episode starts off really clunky. Like, it just starts with Bo running at you. Bo and her crew are running, and I thought I missed something. So I actually tried to rewind the Xbox, thinking I missed, like, an appropriate beginning to the episode. But no, it's just like, start running. All right, so she's running, and she tells Axe Woves what's up. And he flies up to the Mando fleet that it's a trap. And then we cut to Din Djarin, and he easily tricks these 2 guards. You only put 2 guards on Din Djarin, really? Okay. Well, he gets out. He escapes the 2 guards, and they fight, and he's basically kicking their ass. But then all of a sudden, he's like losing. And so IG Grogu shows up and goes, no, and has to beat them and save Din Djarin. And after saving him, Din Djarin tells Baby Yoda, be brave. You with me? And I'm thinking, yeah, dude. I mean, he's brave. He just saved your ass from these 2 clone Mando troopers. And yeah, he's with you. So again, the writing was abysmal this season. Bo's crew running around a cave, running around the same set again and again. Eventually, they get to a place where you can see light coming through. I'm like, there's a hole, and I know you guys saw the hole. And one of the Mandalorians goes, hey, there's a hole, and we should escape. And that's what they do. Great writing. I will say that I like how the TIE interceptors are hanging upside down in this hangar cave thing, and they drop and fly off. They look like bats. I did like that. Does that make any sense? No. I mean, how would they get into this? It doesn't make any sense, but I thought it looked cool, so I'll give you that. And then we have Moff Vader. Moff Gideon, pretending to be Darth Vader this entire episode. He's watching Din Djarin. For some reason, he can watch him on a screen and know exactly where he is. I wasn't getting any of that. And he tells his men, don't go after Din Djarin. I will deal with him myself. Very Darth Vader-ish. R5-D4 flies. I'm not a fan of the Astromechs flying. I know it's a George thing from Attack of the Clones. I just don't like it. And for some reason, R5-D4 has to log into the system and guide Din Djarin around this base. Okay, sure. Axe Woves gets to the fleet, tells them what's up, and all the Mandalorians go down to the planet. He stays behind on the ship. I'm not exactly sure why he needs to be on the ship. And I was thinking, well, if he's there, he might as well pull off a Holdo maneuver. All right, and continuing through this mess quickly, Din Djarin gets to this area with there's these red shields, just like in the Phantom Menace, right, with Qui-Gon and Darth Maul. And R5-D4 is doing his magic and deactivating them one at a time. Why not all of them at once? I don't know. It's one at a time, right? One opens, you attack some guards. The next one opens. It's very video game-ish, some of the things in this episode. So, Mando, our Din Djarin Mando, he's fighting these guys. He's shooting all these, like, Ralph McQuarrie Gen 1 concept stormtroopers. That's what they look like. And he's shooting them and killing them. Somehow they're lying on the ground, but they're wearing Beskar armor. So how is he doing that, right? Sometimes Beskar is really strong against blaster fire, and sometimes it's not. Very inconsistent. And the battles aren't very suspenseful because everyone's wearing this armor. So, all right. So Din Djarin's going to defeat these troopers, and then him and Grogu are going to enter into this like cloning chamber, right? And who is in the tanks? Well, it was revealed that Moff Gideon is cloning himself. They all have Moff Gideons in the tanks. And IG Grogu is getting kind of close to a tank, right? Grogu's getting really, really close to the face of a Moff Gideon clone. And we all knew what was going to happen, right? A jump scare. So just like in Aliens, the face hugger going to the tank, it's kind of like we have Moff Gideon's eyes opening and, Grogu's like, So, which that doesn't make a lot of sense because we'll get into it here, but Moff Gideon is going to reveal to us, the audience, and announce to Din Djarin that his clones that are now dead had the Force. So, like, if the clones had the Force, how are they in the tank? Wouldn't they use the Force to break out of the tank? Like, why would they just be submissive in these tanks if they had the Force? Maybe they don't know how to use the Force. Who's going to train them to use the Force? So many questions, very little answers. I don't know. Meanwhile, we got Bo-Katan and all the Mandalorians. They're flying in on their jetpacks. So we have like a jetpack battle. But to be honest, it was very hard to follow. And Moff Gideon does show up with his helmet off to tell us the information I just gave you. Then he puts the helmet on. And they fight. They basically fight. And Din Djarin is getting thrown around by Iron Moff. Apparently the suit makes him like, it's like a robot suit too. It's everything all in one. And but maybe that's not the real Moff Gideon. What do you guys think at home? Was that the real Moff Gideon or was it a clone Moff Gideon? But it didn't use the Force. Yeah, I don't know. And then the 3 Praetorian guards show up, the Red Guards, and there's just a lot of fighting. All right, and in typical Star Wars fashion, we basically have 3 battles going on. All right, let's go over this. Bo-Katan and the Mandalorians are fighting jetpack clone Mandalorians. They're fighting. And they're just like, it just looks like this. Okay. IG Grogu is fighting the Red Guards, the 3 Red Guards. And they quickly slice up his IG armor and he's kind of like left alone. And he's got to hop around like Yoda and he'll use the Force. And Din Djarin is fighting Darth Gideon. Until Bo-Katan sort of arrives and says, I got this, save the kid, which Din Djarin does. None of these fights, none of them are good. A good fight should tell a story. It should have a beginning, a middle, and an end. It should tell a story. None of these do. You're just watching shit on the screen. I'm feeling nothing. Anyway, when Din Djarin joins Grogu, Grogu starts using the Force and whipping the guards around. He's very convenient with the Force. When he needs it, it's there. All the other times, he's just straight up lazy. Anyway, they defeat the Red Guards, and the Red Guards just come off silly, basically. Not very threatening. Moff Vader is beating Bo-Katan, and he crushes the Darksaber. And I hear everyone, all the executives at Hasbro scream in horror because there's another thing that they're not going to be able to sell anymore since he crushed the Darksaber. Din Djarin and Grogu help Bo-Katan out, but Axe Woves is bringing the big capital ship just crashing into the Imperial base. He didn't really ask anybody, hey, you guys still there? So he's kind of pulling a holdo maneuver before a holdo maneuver. Just it's a suicide. Crashing the ship into the base. He doesn't care. Is he going to kill his friends? Who cares, right? Anyway, he crashes it into the base and there's this huge fire. And Moff Gideon basically gets consumed in fire. We just see him standing there and there's the fire. And really a big letdown. Very disappointing. Just terrible. I hated it. But maybe that was a clone Gideon. I don't know. Anyway, but then our heroes are in trouble, right? So Bo-Katan, Grogu, and Din Djarin are in trouble. But Grogu, again, the Force is very convenient. And he's pretty powerful with the Force, apparently, when he wants to be. He makes a Force bubble and keeps the fire, away from them. Kind of like Sue Storm right, from the Fantastic Four, makes like a power bubble, and there's the fire all around them, and they're just huddling, and they're kind of like Groot and Guardians of the Galaxy 1. Just very, very underwhelming. And then so that's the fight. Fight's over. All the bad guys are defeated. Then we cut to Paz Vizsla's kid getting baptized in the living waters. Din Djarin adopts Grogu. He is now a Mandalorian apprentice. And apparently a Mandalorian apprentice can't stay at home. He's got to go out into the world and learn the ways of the Mandalorian. So maybe season 4, we actually get like Mandalorian Din Djarin bounty hunting again. That would be good, right? So, and then the camera goes underwater of the living waters and shows us the same shot we saw before of the mythosaur just hanging out under the water. We see the side of the face, we see the eye, just hanging out underwater. Very disappointing. I thought for sure we're going to see Bo-Katan taming the mythosaur, riding the mythosaur into battle, waving the dark saber and kicking everybody's ass. I thought that was a missed opportunity there. We didn't get it. Anyway, Bo-Katan lights the forges, and then Din Djarin goes to a bar, a Rebel pilot bar, where we see Dave Filoni. Was that Sulu back there? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. And that guy, I don't remember his name, the Asian pilot. And basically, Din Djarin and Baby Yoda are now independent contractors for the Republic. All right, the show's almost over, I swear. Thanks for hanging out with me if you're still here. So the Dins, they're a family now. The Dins request an IG head from atop of the bar. It was like a decoration in the Rebel bar, and so they're given this IG head. And then the Dins go to Galaxy's Edge, and Apollo Creed gives them a house. I felt like I was, playing Elder Scrolls. You complete the mission. Maybe the king gives you a house in the city. That's exactly what happened. And apparently IG-11 is rebuilt with this head, and he is the new marshal for Galaxy's Edge, walking around. And then we end up at Mandalorian's new house. It's a little small, but it's cozy, I guess. And they're just like, he's sitting on the porch, and Baby Yoda is playing with frogs. No mythosaur battle, no Grand Admiral Thrawn. Very underwhelming, disappointing. The worst of the 3 finales. This is like junk food. Star Wars is now junk food. Yeah, I still like it. I'll have it, but I don't know if I feel very satisfied, and I forget about it pretty quickly after consuming it. All right, everybody, that's my take. As always, hit me up with your take in the comments. Let's talk about this season finale to season 3 of The Mandalorian. Everybody, have a great day, a great week. I will see you soon. And as always, I will see you on the new